Many altcoins over the past few weeks have begun to outperform Bitcoin and will continue to do so in a big way when the crypto market as a whole begins to return to strength once more. And that's all because altcoins versus Bitcoin actually bottomed nearly 2 months before the Bitcoin price hit $60,000 all the way back in February. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why specific altcoins have been rallying strongly and talk about which altcoins are most likely to see the biggest growth whenever the crypto market as a whole starts to pump once more. Do me a favor, hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we talk about why some of these altcoins have been making some fairly ridiculous gains given how fearful the market has been over the past few weeks, as well as talking about which altcoins are most likely to see the growth from here on out, we need to understand what's happened over the weekend and how it affects altcoins specifically. Now many people out there are focusing on the Bitcoin price right now and are saying this is why altcoins are doing well, because the Bitcoin price is up nearly 12% since just the other day and means that the Bitcoin price is still yet to really break below the lows that it saw back in early February, nearly 5.5 months ago. But actually, it's far more to do with the major news announcements that happened over the weekend. Not only did the SpaceX IPO happen and so far hasn't sucked all the liquidity out the market like everybody was telling us it would, but also because an agreement has come out between the United States and Iran with regards to opening up the Straits of Hormuz. Now that's yet to be signed, but it is anticipated that it gets signed on Friday. Hopefully all goes to plan. And that's a major announcement on the global stage. It's already caused the oil price to sell off significantly because obviously the Strait of Hormuz is one of the main channels that a lot of the world's oil passes through. And a falling oil price means falling inflation, it means stronger economies, it means better global overall risk and macro risk conditions. Now, why do I think this affects altcoins far more than it does just Bitcoin? Well, it's because of something that I actually talked about on Twitter the other day. Make sure, by the way, if you're not already following me, Peter_THOC. I post a lot more regularly over on Twitter because obviously making YouTube videos is quite time consuming. But if you appreciate the time and effort that goes into these videos, then do me a favor, if you haven't already, just smash that like button, leave a comment down below as well. Really helps the algorithm get going, especially in this boring market. Now, I talked about this. I said the ISM, or manufacturing index, when it was above the 50 line, which is this red line here, that you saw good, strong periods from the crypto market. But this is skewed because this is the total market cap of crypto, which includes Bitcoin. And actually, it's only really Bitcoin that's been having an incredible run over the past few years, with many altcoins not looking particularly great. And if we look up to this red bubble area here, you can see that actually Bitcoin hit up into its all-time high territory, even though the ISM at the time was shrinking. Now we got the ISM booming and Bitcoin has been going down. But what hasn't been going down during this period of time is altcoins against Bitcoin. And this is very key because whilst the Bitcoin low hit in and around February the 5th, obviously it then hit again the other day, the others versus Bitcoin actually hit the bottom all the way back in June 2025. It then has this wick down on the 10th of October back in 2025, but since then is actually up 80%. If we go to the actual kind of established bottom rather than that wick, you can see that it's also up nearly 30% from the lows. Meanwhile, Bitcoin obviously only up 11-12% from just last week. And this is where the macro fits perfectly, because when the ISM is under 50, it means global conditions for manufacturing and everything else are not very good. And this is why copper versus gold price falls. Now, over time, you can see this falls, but right now we're seeing the ISM above 50 and the copper versus gold chart has been rallying. What else matches up exactly with copper versus gold is the others Bitcoin chart on top. And as you can see, copper versus gold is about to break out, as has the others versus Bitcoin chart. And this is all pretty much being driven by the expansion of the US Federal Reserve balance sheet through money printing to buy T-bills, and now you're going to see even more strength entering the economy once that deal gets signed to open the Straits of Hormuz. This is going to be very beneficial and could lead to a period of time where altcoins see good strength versus Bitcoin. Okay, shut up and tell me about altcoins. Why has Taubetenza and WorldCoin and ZEC been pumping like crazy, while others haven't been having such a good time? But first, let me say this. When I've been making altcoin videos over the past few months, many people have been like, why are you talking about this coin? Why haven't you been talking about that coin? Does this coin fit into this? Guys, I'm teaching or talking about a framework. So for example, a coin like WorldCoin that I talk about now, the framework I talk about for it has the same framework that can fit into many different coins. I'm not going to make a video and talk about every single coin that fits in that framework. One, because it will take me forever and it will take you forever to watch it. And you don't want to see my face for more than about 20 minutes every 3 days. Let's be honest. Second thing I want to say is I personally have been DCAing into altcoins over the past few months, and I will continue to do it as long as prices are at lows. Now, I do it knowing that I can sit through the volatility and whatever falls ahead. Ultimately, I am buying now so that at some point in the future, I can sell when the market is very greedy. Not like it is now, which is very fearful, when the market is very greedy. That means that I might be up or down on any given day ahead of me, but I am buying and holding for the months ahead. Now then, which coins have been pumping like crazy and what's been causing it? Well, if you look, this is the top 100 coins and this is 1 week. It's worth noting here, top 100 coins, bigger market cap, more established coin. Most of these are on Binance, most of them are also on Coinbase, or they're at least on one of those major exchanges. That's very important right now for this current market, because this current market isn't an overly confident market. It's also worth pointing out that we pretty much across the board, with the exception of a couple of coins here, have a full green cohort in the top 100. But if you drop down to the smaller cap coins, you're going to see a lot of red still. This is very important, okay? Smaller cap coins in general are always much later to ever get running than big cap coins, okay? And some of them may or may not get running again. So if you're holding small cap coins that you ultimately see lots of strength in, then continue to do that. If you're kind of losing faith in some small caps, then perhaps while the market's still like this, maybe you could reallocate to other coins that are also low down, but probably have more potential. Okay, that's down to you to basically work out where that's going. But you're likely going to see big recovery across the crypto market first from Binance Coinbase listed tokens. So let's just have a look into some of these coins individually. WorldCoin up 169% from lows that it saw back in May. That's not a long time ago. Grass from lows back in February, currently up 180%. Hyperliquid, obviously a bit of an anomaly, having hit an all-time high from previous swing high that it saw all the way back in September, but it's still 228% up from the lows. So what is it about these coins? Well, I talked about all of these coins all the way back in March, saying that you needed to identify coins that had lots of cash in the bank. Simply because of this. Most of these coins right now are not pumping because retail are suddenly flooding back into the market to buy coins. I guarantee that many people under this video will be like, oh, this guy's an idiot, why would you buy coins now, etc. Which means that the majority of people in crypto don't want to buy coins or anything right now. These price pushes are being caused by market makers, maybe VCs, but in general, wealthy projects pumping money back into their ecosystems. So our sole job is to identify projects that have got lots of money in their ecosystems, and they could have done that in multiple different ways. One, they could have launched back in 2021, and in 2021, it was much easier to raise lots of money from VCs. And as well, they probably made a lot of money maybe by buying and selling tokens and trading tokens over the last few years. And an excellent example of this is Render. So you can see that Render basically launched all the way back in December 2021, had an absolute shocker, selling off nearly 97%, but then from the lows, it rallied something like 44x, which is obviously pretty good growth. Now, obviously, during this time, Render as a company was probably taking a lot of cash and making some good gains from trading its token through market makers, etc. So maybe look for some projects that launched in 2021 and before, and maybe went to the death and then came all the way back strongly into the last kind of bullish periods that we saw in 2024. AOS is another good example of that, and there's probably a few others that you might have heard of, like Neo Protocol, etc. Now, I'm not saying that these projects are rubbish or anything like that. I'm just saying that projects that have been around a long time like this and have had good runs like this are definitely going to have money in the bank, and they do tend to rally back to strength whenever the market as a whole becomes good and strong again. As you can see, the Render price still sits down in these lows. It bottomed all the way back in December and is still kind of going up from here. Now, doesn't mean it can't come down to lows into this zone, maybe not, but you saw what happened before. It sat here from June 2022 all the way to January 2023 before it rallied up. Your job is to literally buy into this zone and not cry about it going up and down during that period so that you can sell it up here somewhere later on. Okay, that's literally the goal here. Now, not only has Render been around a long time, but it also has one of the other X factors that are making some of these coins rally like crazy right now, and that is that they have lots of adoption and they also are generating revenue. Now, Render, I believe, makes around $8 million a year in revenue. So if a project hasn't been around as long as Render has, it needs to have revenue. That's another very key fact. Now, before we move on, I just want to talk about Kalshi, who sponsored today's video. Now, most people out there will know Kalshi as one of the world's biggest prediction markets, where you can bet on the outcomes of things like the FIFA World Cup that's happening right now, as well as other sporting events and political events happening around the world. But what I think is most exciting and most relevant for this audience right now is the fact that Kalshi has just launched the first CFTC regulated perpetual futures exchange in the United States, meaning that if you are a US based trader and you want to make the most of the potential upside in the crypto market versus the downside risk, then you can sign up to Kalshi, where you can trade coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a range of other major altcoins. And the best thing if you want to do this, if you sign up through our link down below and trade $50 or more, then you'll receive $25 in rewards back from Kalshi. So make sure if you're in the United States and you're a trader that you go and cross and check this out after this video so that you can make the most of this offer. Now, I've talked about this a lot of times because it's really important, especially to me and the projects that I go and invest in. If you go to defilama.com, then you can go and see some things going on here. Now, this is the fees paid across the crypto markets. And you can see some interesting things here. Like Pump Fund, for example, makes $1.85 million every single day. Okay, Hyperliquid makes $1.74 million every single day. This is Polymarket, doesn't yet have a token. You've got Lido, you've got Sky, Aave, a lot of these different projects. Whenever the crypto market really gets going again, these projects are going to have survived whatever we've been through. No matter how bad it might have been, or maybe if it got worse, these projects will still see the sun one day. And that's where we want to be able to get in. Go and buy projects that can go through the pain and make it out the other side and then start to rally strongly on the other side. Now, that gives you kind of the overview of the market. But if you look at individual kind of chains and things like that, you can see a few other things. So for example, this is Solana. Again, you can see kind of like Pump Fund. You've also got Jupiter. I talked about Jupiter the other day. If we go here, there will be no surprise that Jupiter is having a good week, up nearly 17%. You can go to Base and see which coins are pumping in and around Base. Aerodrome Finance, usually a popular token. You can go to Arbitrum and you can see Aether, $270,000 made in fees, which considering the small market cap size is pretty decent. And yet the chart looks like this. What I'm happy to see about this though is it's continued to not go directly down. Now, it's been grinding sideways. Yes, it did break through that support, but now it's back into its support zone. When we start to see the market growing again, it's likely that this is going to return back up into the zone and start to move strongly once more. It's up 7% today, and I would imagine it's going to continue that direction. So that's projects that have been around for a long time, like Render, EOS, Near Protocol, XRP, XLM, Cardano, whatever you want to be. In general, they're all likely to come back to life at some point in a big way. And then you have the ones that are newer, like Aether is an example that has decent revenue, and Pump Fund here, which actually has a very similar looking chart to Aether. Now, many people will be like, oh, Hyperliquid's obviously way better than Pump Fund. Hyperliquid has obviously had a very good run, but I would far rather go and buy into Pump Fund right now than buy Hyperliquid. Why? Because Hyperliquid is already up 229%, and everybody across the market knows it, which means that they've all been buying it, waiting for a better day. Ultimately, if everyone's already bought, I don't want to be buying it. I want to buy tokens that nobody wants to buy, that they probably should buy if they start to think like we're thinking right now. Now, also, if we look at Grass obviously has a horrible looking chart, but over the past few months is now up nearly 183%. Again, Grass kind of in a similar way to Aether. Aether does decentralized compute. Okay, so it sells compute power for AI models, etc. But Grass does the same, but with data. So it gathers data parcels and it sells that data to large language models, ChatGPT, Anthropic. You get the picture, right? They make a lot of revenue. They've obviously been using their revenue to buy back into their token lower down, and this is a positive thing. But you're probably thinking, well, what about WorldCoin? Why has WorldCoin been rallying so strongly? And I know everyone will be looking at this right now being like, oh, look at how high it was and look at how hard it came down. Just remember, let's go back to Render. Render went down 96, 97% since that high back in 2021 all the way into 2022. And WorldCoin came down around 98%, and now it's still alive. It's coming back to life. So how is it doing it? Because WorldCoin wasn't around in 2022, and it's not so obvious that WorldCoin is making any money right now. Well, there's a third way that crypto companies out there can have strong treasuries, and it's this. WorldCoin raised a lot of money. You see, they did multiple rounds, and they raised $440 million. That is an insane amount of money. Now, this is a project that's actually been advised upon by Sam Altman, founder of OpenAI and ChatGPT. They got invested in by AI16Z, which is pretty much one of the biggest investors out there. And a lot of that money will obviously go to developing the ecosystem. They have these kind of like centers around the world where you can go and get your irises scanned and things like that. But also they will be driving value back into their token at some point, because that's an ultimately great way to make lots more money in the future through trading it, etc. Now, I'm not saying that exactly every single company is doing this in a big way or whatever else it is, but all I'm really looking for, all I'm really talking about is coins that have charts that nobody really wants to buy, that are able to survive until the time comes that the crypto market gets strong again. Think about it. If you bought in down here and waited throughout this, you would have been incredibly frustrated and losing hope and I'm tired boss and all this other stuff that people keep telling me, okay? This is exactly where we're at for a lot of altcoins. And that's because the others versus Bitcoin chart has been in a bear market since 2022. But you can quite clearly see it bottoming here, breaking out and moving in line with what's going on in the copper gold chart and all those other places. And there's so many projects. Not all of them I'm going to be able to talk about in this video. I mean, just look, Sui, right? Came all the way up, did really well, came all the way back down, and is now sitting in and around this zone. People were like, oh, will it ever come back to life? I remember in the last bull market, Solana going from like 40 cents to $250, $260, and then coming all the way down to under $8, and everyone just saying it was dead. And then all of a sudden it went back up to $260 again. All you've got to do is find coins and projects that are either making revenue, been around since 2022, have had huge investment rounds, and have a chart that's down and sort of starting to grind sideways, not necessarily in absolute free fall. That's obviously risky. You want to find ones that are sort of starting to establish a bottoming zone here, and then get into them, and then just be prepared to wait until the time is right again, because the time will eventually come. Now, I'll just remind you, I'm not telling you to do anything. This is just my opinion, and this is what I do based off of what I understand and how markets work. It takes patience, it's frustrating, but it's all about knowing that something will happen and not having to know when it's going to happen. Because there's one thing I guarantee you that every single trader and every single crypto YouTuber out there will agree on, is that knowing something is going to happen that is far easier than knowing when something will happen. So position yourself so that you're ready for the short term and prepare for the long term as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let me know down below which of the coins I've talked about today that you hold. Let me know which ones as well I should be talking about that I've missed during this video based on the different things that I've been talking about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye-bye.